Welcome to this look at new contract types on Farming Simulator 22 Platinum Edition, Platinum Expansion, with a few do's and don'ts thrown in to help you along the way. With me, MrSealyp. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at new contracts that we have as part of the Platinum Expansion, Platinum Edition. I've got 3 all ready to go. We've got Deadwood, which I'm at the moment, we're going to have a look at. In this area, there's a problem with Deadwood. Help the owners cut down all dead trees. Each tree is already marked. You can sell them afterwards. So they're yours. You can take them away once the contract's done. 23 trees remaining. So I've had one popped up that I think was 12 trees. It would depend. Then we've got one there for rock removal. Now, we've got the new rock crusher, rock breaker. So we'll have a look at that. Remove 9 marked rocks with a hydraulic breaker. The owner wants you to destroy specific rocks inside the area. And this one, transport the trees to the sawmill in the south to get paid. Be careful not to damage them, as any damage will be deducted from your pay. Transport 15 trees to the southern sawmill. So those 3 we're going to be having a look at. Now, if you look down bottom left, you can see the red circle. That's something that's popped up new on the Platinum DLC. So here we've got our Deadwood contract. That's popped up. We've got to remove the 23 trees, but they've got to be within this circle and they have to be marked. This one is the rock removal. 9 rocks have got to be removed from there. And then this one up here is our mark where the lumber is. We've got to go and pick up the 15 logs, put them onto a trailer and take them to be sold. So something a bit different. Something to have a look at. It's a couple of things to be aware of. What I'm going to do is put up on the screen now one of the blog post pictures that came up. Now, I mentioned this on the map tour. Logging symbols do change around the world. It's not set in stone. These are the ones that giants are using. Top left, logging trail, then remove tree, support tree, saw off at this height. Support tree, normally you plant stuff around it. Deadwood, and then the other one says various meanings. Could be anything. So I'm looking for either remove tree or Deadwood. Now, the fact the contract says Deadwood, I'm thinking it's going to be Deadwood. So before we even need to look at the symbols on the trees, we can just have a look at the trees. We've got a whole load of different types of trees here already. Some of the ones that you initially look and think, oh, that looks dead. Like, for example, this one, you look and think, oh, I'm not sure. It's green at the top. So it's not. But that one there is. However, if we look down bottom left, we're outside of our red circle. So it's not marked. This is not one we want to touch. What I am going to do as well, we'll cut 22 and then I'll save the game. We'll cut the 23rd, contract complete. We'll then come back out, come back in again, and I'll cut a tree that I'm not supposed to cut because I'm pretty sure, was it Farm Sim Guy? I'm sure Farm Sim Guy put a post up. To say to be careful. Was it a Twitter post, something like that? Because you can fail the contract, or not fail it, but you can get fined if you've cut down the wrong tree. So what we're going to do then, we're well in the circle now, is have a look for a marked tree, for example, this one right here. Dead all the way to the top. Now it doesn't say how high or low we have to cut it. As low to the ground, I guess, would be advantageous for us if we get to keep the trees. How we get them out afterwards is up to us. Now, what I'm hoping is, if we go to our contract, it should say, there we go, 22 trees remaining. We've found one. If that doesn't change, it means you've cut the wrong tree down. So hopefully, now I'm assuming it's not going to be like, it's not going to be like other contracts where you've got farming contracts, in that if we complete the contract, mind you know, we'd have to remove the trees before, wouldn't we, I would think. Otherwise, would it let us take them? That's something we can test as well. What we can do is we can complete the contract, then try and remove a tree and see if it lets us. If it does, then it doesn't matter. We can take the money and then just grab the trees whenever we want. But if we don't actually have access to the land, can we technically do it? So we've got another couple over here. Perfect. This one here. And then we'll check again just to make sure. Deadwood contract to farmland 25 is 13% complete. 20 trees remaining. Now this one, I don't know, in my head I just thought it seemed fairly straightforward. It's just whether or not you've got access to or know where the symbols are, what it is you're looking for. So like I say, it was the blog post. If you go to the Farming Simulator website, there's a link in the description. I normally put the links in to the website. I'm sure they're in there. You find the blog post to do with trees and tree marking, and that's where you'll find it. Like I say, it was up on the screen, so you can always refer back to this if you want to. So what I'm going to do now is try as best I can. Here, I've got another couple over here. I've got the Volvo BM SM462. That thing's got the best sound ever. I mean, absolutely ever. And then I've also got, what's the other one I've got? This one, the Fancelts Felix. And this one, it's kind of a skidder forwarder. It's got a skidder clamp. It's got a crane, and it's also got winches on the back as well, so we can grab trees with winches and drag them out. So we can probably do that as well. So I'm going to take a few more out. I've just got to make sure I'm always keeping a look down the bottom as well. I would imagine if we go outside the circle, if there are dead trees, they're not going to be marked. So it's just a case of making sure we stay inside the circle and only cut down the marked ones. I'm going to cut this one up the hill, I think. What I am going to do, if you haven't already seen the winches being used, if you haven't watched my cable yarders and winches video, I would always suggest to go and watch it. It's very cool. If I can pull the winch rope out and attach to that tree there, for example, attach a tree to the winch, what I can do is either, if I drive forward now, bring that one with me and then get as close to the end of this one as I can. What I can either do is attach my second winch rope, and it depends, winch cable, winch rope, it depends what you're running, because some of them only have one winch cable, some have two. But if it says attach another tree, if you've got enough room, you can put two onto the same winch cable, I think up to 3 or 4, and then you can do the same with the other winch cable. So what I've just been doing as I'm going along, I'm just dragging some of the trees out, and then like I said, when we get to the end, what I should do now actually, if I winch these in completely, what do I want on control winch, left stick, bring that in a bit tighter, there we go. These two need to be trimmed off, but as you can see, the winch system works really well. This for me, because I like logging anyway, this is just hours and hours and hours of fun, just honestly. So then we go around to the back, disconnect those, then I can carry on. So I don't want to attach another tree, detach tree, there we go, it's both those done, and I'll give those a bit of a trim off if I need to. And continue. I finally found it, the last one. We're on one tree remaining. So this is the tree. What I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to save it here. We'll cut down the tree and should be contract complete. And then what we'll do is I'll complete the contract and see if it will still let us take trees out. So that'll be the next thing to check. See if that's a little bit different to farming jobs, that once you've done the job you can't actually access anything. If you leave bales on a field or something like that, complete the job, they're not yours. Right, Deadwood contract at Farmland 25 is finished. Okay, so it won't let me cut any more trees for a start. Where did I leave my Fanzelt? It's here. So what we'll do is, let's see if it will let me pull winch rope. Oh, it looks like it will. Oh, hang on, I haven't completed the contract, have I? Let's detach that first then. So let's complete the contract and then see what it says. So, completed. Collect. Oh no, all the trees you cut down disappear. Right, so that's something to know. If you do one of these contracts and you want to keep the lumber, and you take all the lumber with you, get it loaded up, get a shot of it before you complete the contract. Because if you do, all the stuff I dragged out here, it's all gone. That's the interesting one. So what I'm going to do now is go back to that previous save. I'm going to cut down a tree I'm not supposed to cut down, then complete on that final tree. And then we'll see if we take a bit of a hit on that as well. But that, like I say, that's something to bear in mind. If you're going to be doing these contracts, get the lumber off if you want the lumber before you complete the contract, because all that lumber, all the trees I've just cut down have gone. I'm back to where I was a minute ago. So what I'm going to do is cut down a tree I'm not supposed to. Now, will it let me cut down a tree? Yeah. So let's cut down a tree I'm not supposed to cut down. So if you get carried away, know you cut down the wrong tree, keep an eye on the tree markers. Whoa, blimey. Not content with cutting down the wrong tree, it was trying to kill me on its way out. So what we'll do now is we'll take this one out then, and see if we will take a bit of a hit on that when we get fined. We know now about the situation with taking logs off the area, so we are contract complete. Yeah, there you go. Look, wrong trees felled. Whoa! The contract reward was 3,450 because I cut down one tree wrong. That took off 3,227. So the thing about these, they don't pay huge amounts of money. They do take a bit of time finding them all. And like I say, finding that last tree was a bit of a pain. It's more about the fact you get all the lumber. So you get the contract. You're helping, you know, foresters or whatever, they're doing their clearing, they're getting rid of dead trees, widow makers, dead standing, that kind of stuff. But you absolutely make sure you only cut down the trees you're supposed to, because that's a massive hit. Especially if at this point you suddenly get annoyed and go, oh, collect, and then all the trees you've cut down you haven't cleared. Not only have you not got all the lumber, you've also taken a massive fine. So that's the first one then. That's Deadwood. What we'll do now is whiz down. I'm going to grab a skid steer loader and I'm going to grab the little rock crusher, rock smasher. I'm going to head out to the next zone, which is over here. And let's get some rocks smashed and see what that looks like. Here we are then. We're inside the inner circle. We have got the New Holland skid steer loader. We have got the Paladin SFB 750. This is a hydraulic breaker, and the 9 rocks that we need to crush, break, have got red flags. So there should be a few around here. I think there's another one behind here. There's a few knocking around. I've also bought up the Volvo L180H with the Volvo high tip bucket. That's the 10,000 litre, because as far as I'm aware, we can break these rocks and we can take the stones away. A little bit like the trees, we've just got to break them. Breaking them is what gives us the contract, but I think we can take the stone as we go. So what I think we need to do is, from here, unfold it, and then turn it on. Takes, but there's no percentage thing. I wasn't sure if there'd be a. Oh, there we go. There we go. And we've got a pile of rocks. I'll turn that off. Let's move down the hill until we get the next one. That's pretty cool. The sound of that is amazing. Obviously, you wouldn't normally be able to move backwards and forwards while you're doing this. It's almost like a time thing. There we go. The rest of that should break away. Turn it off. So if we check the contract now, it should say rock removal. 7 rocks remaining. 2 done. 7 remaining. It's a lot trickier than you think it's going to be because of how dense the forestry is here. And we're moving in, I suppose. This is going to be one of those ones as well, I think, where when we get towards the last one, we're going to need to look right round the edge of the circle, because that's where you're going to find them. This is the centre. Oh, we've got a couple over there, one over there. What I'm going to do as well, go back to the Volvo in a minute and we'll try and pick some up. This is incredible. So what we'll do is just leave it in place there and see if just leaving it, there we go, it just becomes a time thing more than anything else. Other than just down there. Right, I'm going to see you when we got nearly all of them done. Actually, no, that's what I was going to do, wasn't I? Let's go back to the other Volvo and let's see if we can pick up the rock and take it with us. Especially if we've got there's the debris crushers on the map, but if we've got a debris crusher, the modded ones where you can make lime, it's worth picking it up. You might just decide actually as well, I'll just do it for the concrete, for the contract, the concrete. Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure this bucket is supposed to pick these up. Maybe it doesn't let you take it. That's curious. I mean, to be fair, if we look at the contract, the Deadwood ones do say you can sell them afterwards. The rock removal just says the owner wants you to destroy specific rocks inside the area. I think the difference is if you're clearing your own area, if you've bought a patch of land and you've got the rocks, you can do the same thing as this on your own land, then you can take the stone away. I'm guessing that's the difference between the two. It's just mixing your own property with contract property, I guess. Okay, well at least we know that's something we've worked out. How many got left to do? 4 rocks remaining. There's some flags around this way. I will see you when we get to the last one. I'm assuming, I'm going to double check, I'm assuming that's it on for new contract types. The Deadwood, the rock crushing and transportation of lumber. But what I will do, before we finish, I will skip ahead, speed up time just to see if we get any other contracts pop up. Because we might do. As far as I know, it's just those. Last one, I found it. I went all around the outside and it was hiding on the edge of the clearing. We got it. There we are, done. Rock removal contract, Farmland 29 is finished. Actually, start the engine, fold it. Lights off, and we'll get out at some point. Right, so if we go to our contracts, that's that one complete. I mean, to be fair, 3,850. Yeah, I need the bits of equipment first, but second-hand market maybe pick up a skid steer loader, and it's just the attachment on the front. Collect. So tree transport next. Where's that on the map? That is over here. I've already taken liberty. I've taken a lorry over with a timber trailer, and we are partway there with another Volvo. And that would be the L200H high lift. I've been looking forward to using this. Now what I'm also curious about, this is a part of the map I didn't really come to when I did the map tour because there were no sell points out of this side or anything like that, just logging country. So here when we came down on the map tour and went past the Waffle Hut North and the gas station, there's a fork here. So we come up there, down this little track and across the river. Now, it's been brought to my attention, something that didn't dawn on me as well when I did the map tour. Was it Jeremy messaged me? There's no livestock market. So if you want to do livestock, you can, but you have to then have it directly brought in. You can't go and collect it yourself, so you'd always be charged for delivery. But it didn't even dawn on me. Isn't it funny how you focus on the things that are there and you make sure you get them into the map tour, but it didn't even occur to me at the time. Anyway, that being said, so this says if there's any damage to the logs, you can lose money. I'm assuming that means dropping them, or I'm not too sure. We'll find out. This is overkill. This isn't what I would usually use for doing my logging. You can go as basic as you want, or as complicated as you want. I've often used a skid steer loader, sometimes. Telehandler with a manure fork works. The big bag handler works. There's a whole load of different ways you can do this. So what we've got to work out now is how much of this pile can we pick up with this. These are only going to be, actually, how long are they? 5 metres. So I should be able to get 2 stacks if I need to onto that trailer. There's not that many of them actually. So let's see what this will do. I need... bring it to about there. And that one will go down further. And then let's try and close that up. See how many we get. Without rotating if I can. And the arms should close over the top. There we go. And then we want to go up. The controls are a bit weird on this. Something a bit different, I have to say. I should really go from the front first, but in all honesty, I'll have enough room to get the other pile in there. This one we need to go up even higher. This thing is huge. And it will load a truck, lorry, in no time. Now, does this mean as well, it doesn't want you dropping them into the trailer? It's more about placement. Now, I'm assuming when we get to dropping them off as well, let's try and be as gentle as possible. Treat them like a small child, putting them into bed. Yeah, when we get to the other end, we should just be able to pull up with the lorry and then do the whole sell wood. Or am I going to need to unload at the other end? That's going to be something to look at. So I'm not sure. Let's rotate that a little bit. So what I can do with doing actually is bringing that up a bit. Because we're quite close here. Out a bit. There we go. And close it up. Again, try and close up without rotating if we can. Raise it up. Oh, I have to say, this could be one of my new favourite toys, you know. Wow. And I think what they've done as well with a lot of the new trees, they're a lot smoother. They seem to roll together and pack together better than previous kind of iterations have done, which helps massively for doing stuff like this. When you had the logs that were sort of all jiggling around a lot and they never really wanted to stay in place, and you put them onto a trailer and they wouldn't really fit as well as you'd hope. Let's open it up. Okay. Like a glove. Put it down. I have got another one of these at the other end. This was just to see about the contract thing, really. what we'll do is stop that there. Get some straps done up. Don't have too many on, but we'll get some on. Let's head down. We've got the Volvo VNX, as you can see. Take it nice and gently. Avoid any accidents on the way, any collisions. I mean, this one's fairly straightforward. I mean, this one is this type of logs. I don't know if there's going to be any of these that require you collecting sequoias. They're already cut, they're already piled. I didn't have to do anything. Didn't have to cut them first, or just literally just collecting them and delivering them. So it should be fairly straightforward. I'll head down. Then, like I said, before I end, well, I'll speed up time a little bit to see if any other types come up. If we get any others, obviously the Deadwood ones are going to remain pretty much the same, as are the rock breaking. But this is the one where we might get different tree types and different amounts, larger piles maybe, that kind of thing, that will pay out more. Oh, I like the way that came out on the side. That's something new. So I'll see you down at the bottom sawmill in just a moment, and we'll see how this is going to fare for unloading, whether we need to unload manually or whether it will do it automatically. Okay, we are here. Always, 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 my rule of thumb, always go back, check the contract, transport the trees to the sawmill in the south to get paid. Be careful not to damage them, as any damage will be deducted from your pay. Harsh. Now, like I say, is this going to just sell wood from there? Oh. There you go. Contract complete. I made an extra $20 on sold wood. That was actually really straightforward. I honestly thought, with the right equipment, whatever you're going to be using to do jobs like that, as long as you take your time, as long as you're careful with the loading, I thought we'd have to manually unload the lorry and then put them onto the thing, but the fact it took them straight off the lorry, this does, I think we can raise and lower. This is the Schwarzmüller log trailer. Yeah, we can. We can raise and lower those. So when you start loading, you can have them lower to get it easier on if you want to, or if you're not going to put many on there. And then if you want to increase your capacity, you can raise up a little bit, which is pretty cool too. So before I say ta-ra, let's speed up time and see if we get other contracts pop up. Okay, so what I've done, I've skipped ahead to the next day, and we've got more of the same, a couple more Deadwoods, we've got some more rock removal, but these are the ones that piqued my interest. That one's 19 trees, the first one was 15 we did, that one's for 31 trees. I'm going to accept that contract because I'm curious to see where that is. So it looks like those are 3 new contract types we're going to get, especially on this more heavily logging map than actual farming contracts. But we'll check the map to see whereabouts that's located. Okay, all over there. So I was hoping it was going to be up here around this kind of Sequoia area maybe. I suppose what we could do, let's go down and we can always accept that one as well. See where that pops up. That's similar sort of location, more down to the south. So what I'll do, so down from the mine shaft, we come across the bridge, is where these were located. Looks like we're a similar sort of thing. I'm assuming they're going to be the same length, are they? Yep, 5 meters, 31 of them. Wow, okay. Slightly bigger prospect, but again, take your time. Load up your trailer. I could have got way more on than I put on the last time. If we got 15 on, I could have easily got double. So yeah, 30 will go onto that sort of log trailer. But that's it from me. New contract types covered. Fairly straightforward. Just again, be very, very careful doing the Deadwood ones. Make sure you only cut down the trees you're supposed to cut down. If you are going to take the trees, clear them off the site, get them loaded onto something, get a shot of them before you complete that contract. Otherwise, they will disappear. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape, or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.